And first up at 6, a stricter policy is now in place over how your tax dollars can be spent at the state's colleges and universities. Good evening, and thanks for joining us. I'm Erin Connolly.
Hi, everybody. I'm Mark Zinni. Now, this all comes after a report found the chancellor spent thousands of dollars on meals and all kinds of questionable expenses. The I-Team has been closely following this story for months.
And your consumer investigative reporter, Cassidy Williams, was the only reporter at today's meeting. She is joining us now with the latest on the new rules and who will enforce them. Cassidy.
Well, review of Chancellor Chang's spending found over around 3 years there were 56 meals where Chang spent more than the $50 per person limit, adding up to just under $10,000. Now, new rules are in place for how anyone in the system can spend money, and Chancellor Chang is part of the enforcement.
All those in favor? Aye.
With a unanimous vote, the Connecticut State Colleges and Universities Board of Regents approved a new policy for the use of P-cards. P-card is short for purchasing card. It's a credit card that can be used by employees for approved business meals and other expenses. An audit by the state comptroller released in December found troubling gaps in oversight and questionable spending practices.
I want the students to know that we have been responsive to recent, insight into what the status has been with activity across the system, and that the policy is stringent, it goes above and beyond what the state requires, and that everyone is held accountable to this policy.
The 7-page policy also lists prohibited and acceptable uses of the cards and sets daily and monthly limits.
But there are a lot of controls around how money can be spent and who can spend the money. We're also implementing a software system that will track what people are doing.
The policy says employees who violate it are subject to disciplinary action. It sets the chancellor as the approval authority for the P-cards of college and university presidents, and the Board of Regents is the approval authority for the chancellor. Since the audit was released, Republican lawmakers have been calling for Chang to step down or be removed. GOP House Leader Vincent Candelora says he was shocked by this new policy.
All of this has been thrusted into the public spotlight because of the behavior of our Chancellor Chang. And the Board of Regents just put a policy in place that's putting one of the abusers in charge of overseeing this program. As long as that dark cloud remains around our higher education system during the time of budgeting, I think there's a serious problem here.
The Board of Regents talked about how this policy is just a start. They want to reduce the number of P-cards altogether. Right now, more than 1,000 P-cards are in the system. Chancellor Chang says he no longer uses his. If you'd like to see the full P-card policy, we have posted it on the WFSB app. Just go to the I-Team tab and click on this story. Your consumer investigative reporter, Cassidy Williams, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.